Hello and welcome back to The Stack, and here are today's top stories. The first story, Eric Trump is making a big revelation about what happened during the raid of his father's home in Mar-a-Lago. Things have been absolutely crazy in the country ever since we found out that the FBI descended on President Trump's Florida home and raided it, supposedly in search of classified documents that Trump took from his time as president. Apparently, some of these are nuclear secrets, but I guess they weren't that secret or important enough because the FBI waited over a year to do this. It sounds like a bunch of lies to me. Also, Trump can declassify whatever he wants. That's one of his privileges as president. But one thing is interesting in all of this. The FBI demanded that the cameras be turned off at Mar-a-Lago during the raid. Now, normally police officers, law enforcement, they like transparency in situations like this. It's why when you get pulled over or your home is searched, the police officers wear body cameras. Everything gets recorded. There's no questions about what happened. It's all documented. Again, that's not what happened here. The FBI did not want transparency. They don't seem to want the American people to know what happened. Well, Eric Trump is telling us that his family has footage of what really happened during the Mar-a-Lago raid, and he told Sean Hannity that he's going to release the footage when the time is right. I'm sure there's some legal stuff that they have to figure out, but the American people are going to find out what really happened during this raid, and I think that could be very bad news for the FBI. And the second story, the FBI is terrified. After the Mar-a-Lago raid has backfired, they're now obsessively combing through social media profiles for signs of agitation. Now, there have been some attacks on FBI buildings. There's been some agitation happening at FBI buildings. We don't condemn that. You can't resort to violence, but it is not okay for the FBI to be searching through social media profiles, specifically trying to find conservatives who are agitated over what happened over this Mar-a-Lago raid. I mean, it's so ridiculous. It's such an infringement to do that to Americans and to specifically target conservatives. They're saying they're going to target conservative social media platforms like Parler or Truth Social or Getter, platforms where we're not censored on. And yes, of course, Americans, conservatives, are going to be agitated over what happened. You don't need to monitor social media to find that out. Americans are angry. Trump's poll numbers are higher than ever. Trump's fundraising has been incredible after it. People are mad about what happened, and the FBI isn't happy about that. And the third story, a Democratic rep believed that she was off the record talking to the New York Times, and she dropped a big one about Joe Biden. She said that Joe Biden is not running again for president. Again, she thought she was off the record when she said this. When she was on the record, she said, no, he should not run again. But when she thought she was off the record, she just straight up said, he's not running again. And I think there's a lot of Democrats, a lot of Americans who think that there's no way Joe Biden is running again. I mean, the guy can barely make it through a sentence. He struggles to speak every time he's out in public. Sometimes he struggles to walk. He falls walking upstairs to Air Force One. He falls off of his bike. He does not feel like a strong leader, like a strong president. I don't know how he makes it to 2024. But what's the most funny thing in all of this is the rep's attempt to apologize to Joe Biden. She just fawned over him. Mr. President, I apologize. She's just staring into the camera. I want you to run. I happen to think you won't be running, but when you run, or if you run, I'll be there 100%. You deserve it. You're a great president. Thank you for everything you've done to my state and all of the states and all the cities in America. Thank you, Mr. President. I mean, just pathetic fawning over Joe Biden after she was caught when she thought she was speaking off the record. It remains to be seen what will happen, but I don't think he's running either. So if you want to stay up to date on the latest Joe Biden news and the latest on the FBI's raiding of Mar-a-Lago, you can head to westernjournal.com, and please be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode of The Stack.